GM, Adrian. I just said to her, I haven't casted or tweeted or anything. And she said, that's okay. I don't want anybody to see me today. So, and now we're live.
A warning that we went live would be appreciated in the future.
I was saying we were going live.
Oh my goodness, you're right. And we're late. We are late today. Apologies, everyone. It's that type of morning.
It's that type of
Happy
morning.
Monday.
And before we do our little intro, we have a couple of big things to talk about today, to like promo today. And I'm super excited. So let's get this going. And yeah, we'll be back here with you on the other side. Here we go. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrian, for another episode of GM Farcaster. Okay, so I just realized that I never even casted about this episode at all. So,
Wow.
1 second.
Shout out, new friend Frank who casted for us. So,
thank you, Frank.
Listening, appreciate it. Thank you, and
thank you, Frank. Frank's getting a tip from me in a little bit.
The real ones just know when we're on.
They just know.
It's a few minutes past 8:30 a.m. Eastern on a Friday.
Yeah, I cannot even.
Except when we have guests.
Except when we have guests, and we do have a couple guests coming up this week. Hold on 1 second, please. Now I feel better that I've at least casted. It was a busy day yesterday, and some of that related to some fun things that we have going on. ETH Denver, very excited. Also excited about some guests we have coming up this week. So, Adrian. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that. Don't tip
worry.
him. Oh no,
don't worry. I think we'll talk about the DGen
we'll talk
banning
about that in just a second. So this week we have a couple interviews coming up. And I'm super excited. So on Wednesday, Adrian.
Oh my.
Adrian, I am so excited. We have Luca Netz coming on. So Luca's going to be with us on Wednesday. So we're going to be a little later. It's going to be 11 a.m. And then on Thursday, we have DWR coming on at, is that 11 or 11:30? I can't remember.
Neither. It is 12.
It's 12. Or 12.
Yes.
Or maybe 12.
That's 9 a.m. Pacific for all you West Coasters on Thursday.
So we're going to have a couple little schedule changes, but it's going to be a super exciting week. And then we're also going to be sharing about our ETH Denver plans. So we're almost ready for that, but not quite. So we will be soon. But if you are going to be at ETH Denver, couple things. First of all, dump a reply here, which I don't even think I did reply yet. So throw a little shout out here so we know you're going to be there. And if you are one of our hyper sub members, we're going to have a really fun event, similar to what we did last year with a little karaoke brunch. And we'll have more about that next week, because we're also right now have a prop up to Little Noun. So if you have a Little Noun, go check it out. Maybe vote yes. That'd be great. You can see the little noun cup there. And then the noggles on the our little penguin for our ETH Denver mascot are now Little Noun snoggles as opposed to regular noun snoggles. So there you go. So very excited about that possibility. So go take a look at that. And then that is my background. And this is Adrian's background today. This is from Chris Dixon a year ago today. Read, Write, Own was released. So much has happened in crypto since then. The past year, I spent a lot of time traveling and speaking at events, some crypto focused, some not. Even as crypto faced regulatory uncertainty in Washington and sustained criticism from mainstream media, I kept hearing something different from the people I met: passion and optimism. There was a clear gap between the narrative out there and what I was seeing on the ground. So while I'm excited to see the tides turn with growing bipartisan and institutional support, I'm not entirely surprised. Crypto was never going away. At some point, the value of what the blockchain enables, stablecoins, DeFi, AI systems, games, social experiences, and more, had to be recognized. We're still far from the full vision I described in Read, Write, Own, but we're moving forward. Huge thanks to all the founders, builders, and supporters who turned out the noise and kept building onward. So if you haven't read Read, Write, Own yet, Building the Next New Era of the Internet, highly recommend you go give that a read. I'm actually using this in class now. I don't assign the book because frankly, they're not going to read it, but
chapters.
we do a podcast. We do one of the podcast interviews with him. I've used the one with Balaji. I feel like it's really thorough. And then recommend that they read the book. But so those who are really interested, hopefully will dive in. But yeah, I do think it's a really useful framework for where we are. So go check it out.
Yeah. It's been like hugely valuable to me. I did read the book. And
my students who read the book.
Yeah, and I'm constantly referencing it.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I constantly reference the concept of the casino versus the computer all the time. Like it's something that is just really easy to grasp, especially when you're talking about crypto. And I mean, one of the things that always what someone always says is like, oh, it's just all scams, right? And then I go into like, well, there's two sides to this. Yeah. Yes. So it's a really useful framework.
Yeah. I like the corporate network compared to the blockchain network, especially when talking about Farcaster, because, and I don't know if you pulled this, but Dan's been asking kind of like, what is our messaging? He's obviously the intern on Twitter right now is on fire and trying out lots of things and seeing what works. And Dan's asking for feedback. Like, if you don't like the make money, what works?
Right.
And I always lean into it's like everybody knows social, everyone's using social, but all the value accrues to the corporation.
Right.
And
right.
Meta X.
And as opposed to
when it's built on a blockchain, the value can accrue to all the users who own their identity. That's you and me. So exactly. I like it. I like the framing.
I do too. And yeah, here it is. I was trying to find that cast that you were referencing. Just took me a second because I had it further down. A lot of thoughtful responses worth taking a spin through the replies. This was in regards to, if you don't like the make money consumer value prop for Farcaster, what do you think is better? Reply with a suggestion and rationale, like replies that resonate. So go through here, and even if you don't have anything to add, just like the ones that you think are useful. I kind of like this one, so I should really throw that on there. So yeah, these are really interesting. And Dan's new, CMO arc has been a lot of fun, or rather FC intern arc, I should say.
I can't wait to talk to him about it next week.
I cannot wait. Cannot wait. We're definitely going to explore that when we have him on Thursday. This from Emma Estes, introducing Builders Day, a 24-hour FarHack and mini dev day with DWR and V and the Merkle team. FarCon will kick off with Builders Day on Thursday, May 1st, before the summit on May 2nd. Ticket applications open next week, where you can indicate interest on joining Builders Day, the summit, or both. LFB, let's fucking build. In case you didn't know what that means. So very exciting. I can't even believe, I'm so excited for FarCon, and there's more that we'll be talking about next week with that as well. So lots of stuff going on with that. There's so many things going on. There's a lot going on. It's really fun. So I'm very excited, but it's a lot.
Are you ready for the drama of when people try to get in and don't get their ticket approved because the attendance is capped and we can't? It's not just the type of conference where you can just buy a ticket and show up. Although there'll be a ton of side events. So even last year, people came in and didn't go to the main summit. So don't be discouraged when the applications go out.
For sure. And if you are discouraged, or if you can't come to New York because it's just too far, it's too expensive, all those things, create your own Farhan, like create your own, or whatever. What was the faraway con that they did in Europe last year? Like that was fantastic. And they had their own meetup and they did their own thing. So I expect that there'll be a lot of those as well. And I'd highly encourage them because it'll be really, really fun way to get together with other Farcasters. I see Mark down there. We'll be with you in just a second. We got a few more news items. We're going to whip through some of these now. This from Varun. By the way, they were shipping last night. I mean, like this is 8 hours ago. What are you doing? This from V, new feature, default feeds. You choose between algorithmic feed or the following feed as your default. We've supported the following feed as a secondary feed for a while, but now you can make it the first thing that shows up. Go to settings and feeds to change. So that's been something a lot of people have asked for. So there you go. Ask and you shall receive. It may take a while, but you'll get it. And this one is new feature, highlighted notifications. See highlights on unread notifications when you open the notifications tab. So you'll see a little bit about why it is you're getting this notification. So interesting. Also, this from DWR, how would you improve this page? Goal is to be able to send this to prospective on-chain builders to answer the question, why frames? After we get the messaging right, we'll invest some time in making it a proper marketing website. This is like a whole new arc. He said marketing.
I'm sorry,
in a
what?
cast.
Can I tell you a story when I first joined? And I don't know if you remember the state of the Farcaster.xyz website when you first joined. It was just a GitHub repository.
Yes.
And a few, probably like, I don't know, maybe 6 months after I joined, and Dan was asking for feedback of like, what should we do? I'm like, maybe make it easier for people to get information about what the F Farcaster is.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I was on Twitter.
What is
I was
GitHub? A GitHub repository is not welcoming.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, decentralized social was popping. And I had, heard of the different ones and I wanted to learn. So I'm like, let me explore Farcaster. And it was so hard to actually find. So I found some deep blog posts, the original sufficiently decentralized one, some podcasts they had been on. And his answer at the time was, that's purposeful because only the people here had to go through. It was like it was gatekeepy, but it was like, it requires proof of work. Like if you went through all those hoops and like actually tried to find the value of Farcaster and you're here. And I was like, okay.
Okay, but
a little better.
But also I do remember that. I remember those conversations.
It was like whatever you said.
Hey, by the way, did you catch this? This is alpha on the timeline here. Matthew said, what is that icon?
Matthew.
What is that icon right here? We got a little wallet icon. Stuff is coming. Something's coming. Interesting. Just saying. Might be related to this. Could be. Maybe. I'm not sure. Could be coming down the road. I'm not sure. But there's a little wallet icon, so I'm not sure what that means. But also, I think it's related to this. Very heads down on an upcoming feature this week. If I owe you a DM reply, I will get to you soon. So stop bugging Horsefacts with your yoink issues. leave his yoinking alone. He's busy. But this is interesting. This is definitely interesting. I did not clock this at all. So good call there, Matthew.
I love Horsefacts heads down on feature development, but I really miss the bangers.
I do. I like it when Horsefacts is
we need him back
on
the timeline.
Yeah. I like it when he's less busy. I did love your little copy pasta here. A lot of fun. Person I've known for more than 10 years who I consider trustworthy is convinced Farcaster will shortly release some new features that we're all going to love. I don't know anything concrete, but if I were already an FDAO, I would be concerned. This is a copy pasta of something that came on crypto Twitter years ago. So just if you're not familiar with this, that's what that is. So but also kind of relates to all the shipping that we know is happening and coming soon. So yeah, so that's why it's good that we'll have DWR next week. This is really cool from TLDR. Damn, I just tried out Nash.run once upon GG Team's new product. I launched a new agent, Steve. Why Steve? Steve trades Soul coins, so I never have to. Nash Team sent me $10 to a Phantom wallet. Steve bought me a shitter called ADeep, which I returned the fund 10x in 5 minutes. LOL, all this in 30 minutes. That's wild. And then Winnie had said something similar, been using Nash to create me a Farcaster agent for all the cool product launches, top discussions, and interesting announcements every day. It's been a week and I've been thoroughly enjoying it. As someone who's not technical in nature, it's helpful to create agents in a no-code manner and just prompt it via Nash. So this is very interesting. And there is a Nash channel, so you can learn more. So go into the Nash channel and learn more about these personal AI agents. I think it is still limited beta, but you can request access there. So very interesting. They're trying to take your job. They're trying to take GMFC's job. How dare you? This was from V. If you're an MIT alum in crypto, please get in touch. We have quite a few on Farcaster. Adrian, do you understand why?
No. Can you explain?
Gary Gensler is back as a professor at MIT, and some folks are not happy about that. So they're asking the alums to get in touch and have him removed from his position. So there you go. That's what that's about. So if you're an MIT alum, you know, if you feel so inclined, you could reach out.
Wow, so, must have not been on Twitter when that news broke because I did not know.
Yeah, yep, he's back at MIT. This from Debbie. It's been 5 years since I got to celebrate.
Joke. Someone, me.
Somebody, please.
Someone.
It's been 5 years since I got to celebrate Chinese New Year in Singapore, and it's been a real blessing and treat. Heart is full. So happy Lunar New Year to all those who celebrate. Year of the Snake. It's supposed to be a renewal kind of thing, but we'll see. Snake can be taken in many ways. This from Derek. Happy Wednesday. The last 2 days I've posted about infrastructure for DOTS and native fun AI agents. Speaking of AI agents, I meant to put these together. They're built using Coinbase Dev, transact on Base, published on Farcaster, and tokenized via Clanker. Today, how about a thread on creating a DOT with Dot Studio? So go check that out. And then this is related to the agent kit that is available for Coinbase. So the Coinbase dev team to bring Farcaster support to Coinbase's agent kit. This integration is built on top of Rish's Nanar. So very cool. Derek's really cooking. So he launched native, $native a while ago and had said that like he was building a whole bunch of stuff related to this. And he has been cooking over here, and this is the latest. So very cool to see. This was interesting. Him, what's your Twitter? Me, here you go. Do you use Farcaster too? Him, oh, no, not really. I'm not a base person. Houston, we have a problem. Okay.
All right. Okay. Tag the Farcaster Mark CMO.
Yeah. If you can just let
the intern needs to do something about that.
Yeah. Can interns do something? But also, yeah, we need to get the message out. We're more than just base, but also we are base. So there you go. Oh, we already talked about that. I'm going to mention this from Linda, just because Linda, we just love you so much. And this is like, I can't even. This was so sweet. This from Linda. I've watched almost every episode of GM Farcaster as my way of keeping up with Farcaster news, and just want to say how lucky we are to have Nanish Prof and Adrian spending their time growing the Farcaster ecosystem. Just clearly smart, curious, and kind people. Very sweet. And if you are not following Linda, like you should be following her in all the places. Bountycaster is amazing, but also she does so much within the Ethereum ecosystem, like the Ethereum film that she was really involved in getting that produced and all these different things. So just, if you're in Ethereum, Maxi, or even just in Ethereum whatsoever, like definitely be following her because there's a lot to be learned there. So thank you, Linda. We love you. Couple more quick things, and then we're going to bring up Mark. This from Sid. Some news after taking Coinbase Wallet. Oops, sorry, Sid, I'm not following you. Best Wallet 0 to 1. I'm building something new at Coinbase, taking businesses on chain. Instant, global, and 24/7 money is a no-brainer for businesses, but we need way better tools. I hope we can serve every business and startup in the Farcaster community. We're hiring our first designer and engineers to help lead the charge. Come join me. So there you go. If you're interested, looks like they have looking for a staff product designer and engineering manager. So go check that out. Okay, and lastly, this is sort of our last big thing, I think. And then we're going to talk about cool things like writing. Rick's Bounty. Whoa. Seismic shifts in the DGen vibes today. $DGen vibes today, as quite a lot of discussion was focusing on tips and attempts to counter farming. Might have to wait for the dust to settle before getting too worked up yet. Sentiment isn't great in a few of the group chats, as it seems a lot of legitimate supporters might have been placed on the ban list. Critical aspect will be the appeal process. Also, if I'm correct, a significant reduction in daily emissions from 5 million to 1 million DGen per day in the next season, which is intended to further extend the long-term viability of tipping as a distribution metric. And there was an X space yesterday with it was with Burberry and Yasik. So you can go listen in on that if you want to catch up more. This from Yasik, bans update, DGen's bans update. We're applying bans as we wrap up season 12. In season 13, all bans will be reset, giving everyone a fresh opportunity to earn tips. At the end of each season, we'll reevaluate activity using a rule-based analysis of our choosing to weed out behavior that closely aligns with farming. To prevent gaming the system, we won't announce rules in advance, but we'll use various techniques to monitor how tips are being distributed. And then it goes on for season 13, we're lowering the daily allowance pool from 5 million to 1 million. The change aims to reduce token inflation and extend sustainability. So additionally, we're removing the tip for tip rule since it hasn't been effective at curbing farming. So some interesting changes coming. If you are playing around in the DGen ecosystem, go into the DGen channel to check that out. And this also from Yasik, ask yourself, what can I do to help DGen grow? We've supported artists, creators, and others, but now it's your turn. Onboard friends to Farcaster, do a raindrop, or get them to follow the DGen channel. Let's shift focus less about what DGen can do for you, more about what you can do for DGen. So there you go. Did want to just shout out this one last thing, two last things. This is from July, I've often lamented the fact that I don't have multiple lifetimes to pursue all my interests deeply, to fall in love a million times, to learn every language and culture, to get to know every human deeply, to finally read all the books I have bought that are collecting dust on my shelf. Yet perhaps it's a feature, not a bug of our lives, because if we had infinite time, would there really be an urgency to figure out a way to shove as much of this as we possibly can into one life and live as brightly as we can? In case you're wondering, my answer is a resounding acceptance of our limits. Accepting a limit is the first step towards creativity. I need this limit to channel this overflowing desire and love, or the world, into making one life burn as brightly as the sun. So I'm sliding into some nice writing as we transitioned over to bringing Mark up. One last thing from Brad Q. Narrator. The settlers of the new land had a slogan, "We are early." Sometimes it was easy to forget that it was more than a slogan, but there were other times when they vividly experienced that settling a new world is messy and difficult. They were fortunate that there was another motto, we win together, that prevailed, and the messy moments got sorted out. In the end, the community moved forward, stronger together, to create a world that would be a welcome home for the multitudes in years to come. That was a recast of We Win Together.
By Jesse Pollock.
By Jesse Pollock.
Yeah.
And with that, Adrian, I want to bring up our guest, Mark Fishman. I wanted to kind of slide into a couple nice, great pieces of writing there as we bring up Mark to talk about First Draft Club. So welcome, Mark. We're so glad to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing to be here. I've definitely watched this live and on YouTube several times. So good to be in the studio.
Well, we love having you here. And Adrienne, I know you have participated in First Draft Club. Yes, I think you have. Yes, I think.
Au contraire, I have not.
Oh, I thought you had.
I've pitched it several times.
Yes, I have supported First Draft Club in my heart of hearts and cheered all the first drafters on, and I have not written. Mark and I go way back.
I totally thought you had, because I have also had that same familiar vibes. Like, I really should be doing this. I need to have some more discipline in my writing, because I haven't written in like a very long time now.
Yes,
but I totally thought you were like dialed in.
No,
sorry, good.
But Mark and I go way back. If you check out our PFPs, you will know our original connection. Mark, will you start out by kind of telling us what First Draft is all about?
Yeah, so First Draft is a writing accountability program. It started very much for myself. So this was mid last year. I want to say like May, maybe June. I'd been kind of frustrated that I wasn't writing as much in my personal life. I had several reasons. Like, I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do with my career. I needed to articulate things, and I wasn't sitting down to write, and I'd done writing in the past. And so I kind of thought, like, can I come up with some way of getting myself to write more? Like, how do I create some structure, whether that's a financial pressure or social pressure? And I was throwing around some ideas, and eventually got together a group it was like 8 people for the first cohort, to basically send a month of commitments for $20. And then every week that people would write, I would send them back $5. And this was great. Like, we had great participation. And most importantly for me, again, I did this for myself. I got myself to write every week. And then I've kind of just continued it from there, and it's been evolving. And I'm personally on a 25 week streak of posting something to the First Draft channel. And some weeks it's definitely more writing than others. It can be as much as, or as little as just a cast. It can be as much as a huge essay that you post on Paragraph or host on your own website. But the idea is just, even if there's the one big essay you want to write, you sign up for a month and you can post a paragraph as a first draft. If you go back and you see my posts in the channel, it's often a late Sunday night post saying, I've been working on this thing, it's not done yet. Here's a screenshot of like 2 paragraphs of what I've got so far. And that kind of keeps me accountable to doing something, at least, sitting down to write.
I want to double click on something you just said, because you said it can be a cast. It doesn't, it doesn't have to be a full paragraph essay or Substack or whatever. I think that's really important, because that's sometimes how I get myself in my own head, is that it feels too overwhelming to start. So you just don't, even if you have an idea in your head, because it's like that, it's the curse of the blank page, right? So I like that you're thinking about it in chunks rather than like a whole deal. I think that's really cool.
It's a lot to ask people to write something every week. And so I've kind of framed it as like, share something every week. You don't need to sit down on a Word document. You can type out a long cast. There's no length limits. I haven't been really strict in enforcing what counts as writing. One week I shared a Apple Notes screenshot that I'd taken. I was on vacation for the week in like New England in the fall, and it was beautiful. And I just made a little like list of bullets of like things that I love about the fall, or things that like it made me realize. And I wasn't great writing that I would like push out in an email newsletter or whatever, but just getting in the habit of putting things down from your head into words. And I think so many of us are already casting a lot, replying to people. You can take a cast that if you're part of First Draft Club, you can take a cast that you wrote during the week and just post it in the First Draft channel, like repost it in there. And that'll count. It's just about getting people more mindful of like, okay, if I do want to write, just start getting in the habit. It's not as much focused on the outcome as, hey, are you showing up every week? And then I've definitely had the experience of like, okay, it builds over time, or like maybe you have a cast or a screenshot or whatever it is that goes viral, like it's a good reaction or people respond to it, then, you know, that first draft turns into a longer piece or something that you want to kind of expand on. So it's more about the process than the outcome.
I love that. Go ahead, Adrian.
I really like the mechanism. Like we've always had that conversation about gyms. Like you pay all this money for a gym membership and you don't go. That's kind of their business model, I think. But it's like, shouldn't they pay me? Yeah. How do you get that? And I've never seen it work. So I think it's cool that you're experimenting with that. This is all on chain? How are you managing it? Is it difficult to manage?
Yeah, I haven't pushed super hard to scale it, like to grow the group, because it is a little manual. I track participation in a spreadsheet. I go through so the deadlines are Sundays for writing. There's no specific time. I kind of just log in on Monday mornings and go through the first draft channel, which used to be gated to members on Hypersub. But now anyone can post. I figured, why not open it? I just look for the members that I have in a spreadsheet. It's based on Hypersub. I track, 0 or 1 for the week, and then I send back in a batch transaction like 5 USDC on base to everyone who wrote. There's a first draft club, accounts that
was
I made
for January.
Farcaster So January. So every week people get 5. So you pay 25 for the month. Some weeks are, some months are 4 weeks, some are 5. So it kind of, makes it nice. There's a little bit of wiggle room. And so each week you'll get 5 USDC back when you post. And then what I started doing for this year is I had a bunch of money that was accumulating in this first draft wallet. It's firstdraftclub.eth. It's a separate wallet from my personal wallet that is kind of the recipient on Hypersub. It's where all the funds go in and out of. And I realized that had been kind of accumulating over time. If someone joins for, if they don't get their $5 back, it sits in that wallet, and I didn't really know what to do with it. I'd done a couple of small, things, bounties and rewards, but I wanted to find a kind of like sustainable way of, okay, like how do I reinvest this back into the program? And a little bit selfishly, like I hadn't taken any money out of it personally. And so I was like, how do I maybe make a little bit money back on this? Not that it's a full-time business or anything. It's very much a side project, labor of love thing. And so I decided to come up with a monthly prize pool, which was, okay, for all of the money that wasn't claimed back by participants for writing, if you miss a week, that $5 will go into next month's prize pool. And then the prize pool is given out it's split between everyone who wrote for every week. So far it's been okay.
So that's been this one. Yeah.
January.
So that's the 7 that are on here. They were like the ones who did it. Okay. 3 weeks in January. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And so for this month, so January ended, and then for February, I took all of the unclaimed funds for January. I swapped it into hire. I just thought that would be kind of a fun thing to do. And, the value of that can go up or down. But basically, there's 20,000 hire up for grabs for people who post every week in February. And
it also sounds better when you say there's 20,000 higher. Then,
exactly.
then $20.
It was like 215.
Might be the same. Okay, 250.
Where's
psychological?
Where's Yes to Crypto and the Woofy right now?
Yeah.
Just there he is.
The face. There you go.
Yeah. It's
I'm telling you, it's psychological. It's psychological.
100%.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the inspiration for this came from, it was an experiment in October. I thought about like, how do I challenge people to write every week? Just kind of as an idea. And Six, who is kind of part of the Hire Collective, I'd asked him, like, can I get Hire involved with this? I think it would be kind of aligned. I'd love to offer a prize for people. And he donated, I think it was 100,000 Hire for that month. And I think there were about 17 people who wrote every week that month. It was definitely the best month, kind of metrics participation wise for first draft. And what happened is during that month, the price of Hire like 10x. And so what was originally $500 worth of prizes ended up being, I don't know how much was in the end, but each of the 17 people got about $260 worth.
Wow.
a
Wow.
fire.
That's
So
wild.
I don't know if that type of experience is going to happen again, but I figure putting it into another currency where it's like, okay, you're getting the state. It's in the whole program is based in stable coins. You put your $5 a week in, you get $5 a week back. That's the accountability, but there is some upside here if this prize pool kind of goes up in value.
Love it. I love it. I think that's great. And see, Adrian, there's there's benefits.
Listen,
there's benefits to volatile assets.
It does make it fun. Like I do think like the $5 a week, it's not enough, right? To hurt. It's like it's enough to make it a game.
Yeah.
I guess. So yeah, throw in some coins and some speculation and have fun. I'm 100% a supporter.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
And you could just denominate in nano cents as well.
Yes, nano cents, because that's a thing. This is like when Jacob tried to make sparks happen. Nano cents we're trying now.
Just move the decimal place.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. What have been some of your favorite like outcomes from starting First Draft, like either personally or stories that you've heard from others that have been like a surprise or a benefit or what have you?
I think it's definitely been like meeting people and reading their stories. I originally recruited a small kind of cohort of people that I knew, and it was a closed system, and then people heard about it and they're like, oh, well, when's the next cohort? When can I sign up? And so eventually in the fall, I switched to an open model on Hypersub where I was like, okay, you can join whenever you want. I might run promotions in the kind of monthly calendar cycle. But just the experience of having people kind of getting an email notification, notification on Warpcasting, like someone joins the Hypersub and then I see their story, the next day in the First Draft channel. And like, Debbie, who I think you shared her cast today from Singapore, she wrote about her relationship with her dog over the last several years and her relationship with like the grief that she's going to have once her dog passes. And we connected over, I just got a puppy. So we just connected over, the dogs in our lives and shared photos and just people that I'd never met, before on Farcaster, or I had seen but never connected with one-on-one. To have them kind of come and share their story. And obviously people in First Draft will see it in the channel, but it's also public. And so it's not a kind of a closed community. It's for anyone to be able to participate and tap into the program. And yes, there's financial rewards, but for people to, this is why I started writing, why I wanted to get back into writing is for me to be able to articulate things, to share things, to kind of improve myself, connect with people. And that general open flywheel has been really like beautiful to watch.
And Debbie has a book coming out, actually. She wrote a book, so it's coming out soon.
You can pre-order it.
Yeah. I pre-ordered it. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
How cool though! Like First Draft Club, Mark, you can attract published authors as well. Like you don't. It's not even like for people. Like everybody could use a little accountability. You can be a writer, I guess, and still want to participate. And
that is one of the things I'm thinking about. Yeah,
that's super cool. No, I love it. I just realized your value prop sounds a lot like Farcaster's, which is like, make money, make friends.
Yeah.
Like the friend.
Yeah, I've definitely leaned into that a little bit now that it seems like Dan is it's like, okay, that's it's not interesting content. But just before I probably could have done that. I'm like, look at all the things that people are writing us make money. And so the prize pools kind of line up nicely with that. There's a lot more I want to do. This isn't, a full-time thing, but I want to make a frame to make there's the cast. I think
I predicted that's what you were going to talk about next.
Yes. I think a frame would be, I'm not a developer, I'm not very technical, but I think it's something I want to commit to doing is building a frame because I think it would help with centralization of information, with notifications. Right now there's like a group chat that I can share information with. I can share things publicly. I have the First Draft Club, Farcaster account. But, and now I have a website that's like a simple Notion page with some links to things. But I think a frame would be a nice kind of thing to build to centralize that experience.
Really cool thing to do it at the Builder Day. I think that would be really fun because I think you'd get a lot of help too with folks who, could contribute to the idea. And I think it's a great idea. I think it would be really cool too, even if you worked with Paragraph on this. because they create some amazing frames. I have to say, like Colin's goated in that regard. So that could be really cool if maybe they could some kind of pass through of like a first draft kind of, I don't know, specific frame that somehow connected and let you pull it into Paragraph or something like that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I like where your head's at. I have a good relationship with the Paragraph team, and I don't know if you guys remember, I used to do streams with Mish, who does design for Paragraph. We used to do some like feedback on Farcaster products. And
I do remember that.
Yeah. We used StreamYard. It was fun. I realized, I had my username, everything set up when I logged back in here today. But there's actually, I should mention, there's Paragraph has been a nice partner of First Draft Club, and I've worked with, I've talked with Colin and I work with Reed on, there's a monthly raffle. It's $100 worth. Right now I do it in 4 groups of $25 for people who are writing their first drafts submissions on Paragraph. So you can get your $5 back. You can also potentially earn $25 if you're writing on Paragraph as well. And so, I really like what they're doing. I have, lots of ideas and feedback that I give to them regularly about like, how I would like to see writing kind of integrated with Farcaster more. But I love that idea.
They loved this idea from Trisel. That was a really good one. I think Apple Notes in a frame, just a text entry. Yeah. And it's tied to your FID when you submit and then view your submissions. And then you could pull it over into Paragraph somehow. It would be very cool. That's kind of, what I was thinking. Something that you would just type right on the app. But I wanted to just double click on something you just said about product reviews. So this was in your reply here, alternate project idea. If I've already built that frame, a way to incentivize people to give updates on products and experiences. And you just mentioned that you were doing a stream with Mish doing that. And Adrian, I know that Dwoofy and Links just did like some kind of, it wasn't product feedback, was it? It was more something else, but it was
design feedback on a website. I think on the bank, what's the B card? On the B card website, I think it was like live feedback. Dwoofy, if you're still here, we loved it. And
it was great.
I want more. Like, I think it's like to do.
I think there's a lot of like, I think that would go over very well. Like different kind of product reviews live or design work or whatever, like just kind of that using your expertise to do different reviews and things like that live. I think it's pretty cool.
I had a lot of fun doing that this summer, I think, with Mish, because Mish is a really talented product designer and very good with the details. And my background is in UX, but more on the research side and kind of the conceptual mental models of like, onboarding. What does someone need to see? What questions might they have? And so I really enjoyed kind of being a pair. And so it's something I want to get back to. I think doing live streams and helping people in the ecosystem, giving feedback, and is really exciting. So maybe I'll get back into that at some point.
Well, let us know. We might. We'd love to stream you on our various platforms. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Network going.
Yeah, we're trying. We're building it. It's happening.
2025 is the year of the network.
Yeah, this is the year that we build out the network. Yeah, for sure. Adrian,
That's my public commitment. I have to say it out loud because gotta
accountability. Here we go.
We're manifesting.
Adrian, what other questions do you have?
How's your puppy, Mark?
Good question.
He's great. He was a little bit of a booger yesterday, but generally he's pretty much on a schedule. He's great. I'd pull him in right now, but I think he's down in the crate after eating breakfast and going out. So
he's taking a little nap.
He's great. Yeah.
Oh, I did want to mention this cast from Mark to Adrian's bot. What do I need to make a V2 frame? And then it did reply with a few episodes where we talked about it, but ideally it would be better if it was getting the hub too. I think that would have given you a better direction. But pretty cool that it did reply with a bit of information.
I hadn't used the.
It's gonna get smarter, before, guys. So. It's gonna get smarter.
I was surprised to see that. I was like, oh, he used the bot. That's exciting.
I really do appreciate everybody still asking the bot questions because it's very helpful as I figure out
Yeah.
how to make it better. The bot keeps talking about itself. It doesn't know who it is. So it's like, it'll be
it's
like,
funny.
oh, on this episode, Adrian and Downish Prof talked about they're building a bot and it's going to do that. I'm like, it's you dumbass.
The bot doesn't know it's talking about itself.
Trisel, who's in our chat, asked it where babies come from yesterday.
Oh my God.
These are also the types of questions I didn't do in my unit testing, guys. I didn't ask it about biology.
Did it have any answer?
It had a phenomenal answer.
I have to go back and look.
IMHO.
That's funny.
So and you know what? It actually pulled an episode where we were talking about the declining birth rate and sex. Like, it was topical.
Wow.
I'm like, when did we all ever talk about babies? Okay.
We talk about babies and sex. Apparently in episode 179 at around the 56-minute mark. Okay. So I was like, the bot's not that dumb.
It's not that dumb. That was pretty good. I never would have expected that to have an answer for that question. So
by the way, the background of that episode is also the papaya background, which
that's funny.
Looked very sexual.
Looking back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when you do hundreds, over 200 episodes, like, you're going to get hundreds of hours of content. It's going to find something to grab onto, which is impressive.
We're going to be talking about babies.
Apparently, we were talking about babies. All right.
Yes. So appreciate everyone playing with the bot, and it's just helpful to know, like, that question of like when to build. I still think framesv2.com is the best resource for how to build a frame and use AI copilots. That's my
and we need to build one as well. So we'll get there.
Yeah.
Thanks,
that wasn't I wasn't relying on the bot for that information. It was more good. Test, as you said. I'm like,
Mark, I want
to.
We figured.
I want to give you our fun. I want to give you our fun lightning round questions. But I'm just curious for as a writer, how are you balancing your time between reading and writing?
Ooh, good question.
It's a great question. I'm trying to do more of both this year. My first draft post of the year was by like resolutions, and it was reading more, writing more. I think they're related. Reading gives you ideas for things. I think they can definitely feed into each other. You can like write about, if you don't know what to write for the week, for a draft, for example, just write about what you did, write about what you read, like what you experienced. And so it can be a nice kind of flywheel of that experience. Reading, I'm trying to read more books. I'm trying to read. I'm just like generally trying to be a little more mindful, intentional. I see you pulled up this cast I made last night.
I want to ask you about this. So you had casted this that you're using Brick. So this is a cast from Mark. I've had a getbrick.app for a couple months, but never really used it. Last week, I set a reminder to brick my phone each night so I wouldn't be distracted by apps in the morning. Huge success so far. Been keeping those apps blocked most of the day. So what is this, and how is it, like, what is the goal of that with Brick? Because I'm not familiar with it. So I was like, oh, what is this? I gather that it's a way to sort of block your notifications or something. I'm not sure what exactly it does.
Brick is a physical device. If you're familiar with I don't know if you have like Blackbird, where you tap and it kind of has this NFC technology. It does that, and it connects to your kind of iPhone's screen time settings, and so it's able to block apps and set limits. And kind of crucially I'm sure there are workarounds, but the concept is, instead of, when you set a limit on your screen time and it says, you've hit your limit on, TikTok or Twitter or Warpcast or whatever it is today, you can just say ignore and go 50 more minutes. And I've been doing that forever. And so with the Brick, it's kind of like, in order to unblock, you need to go up and tap your phone to the Brick. And so mine's on my fridge, and it's very easy for me if I'm somewhere in my small New York apartment. I could go do that, but there's something about that physical thing versus I'm just going to click 2 more buttons and then I get to go back to TikTok, So it's been really cool.
I think with something like TikTok, that's really important and helpful, because that algorithm, man, holy crap, it's good. It just sucks you in so bad. It's really hard to get out once you're in there. So I get that. That would definitely be helpful.
Do you guys remember when TikTok was banned for a day?
Do you remember?
Mhm.
Like, should we have a memorial for that? It was like that whole 12 hours. It was great. That's where I got back on, because I don't go on TikTok very often, but because it was about to go away, supposedly, I was like on it again. And then I'm like 2 hours later, I'm like, what am I still doing here? Why am I still here?
The same. Literally the same. I've never used TikTok until this month. Now I'm on TikTok. So lesson in there.
There were conspiracy theories that it was a publicity stunt.
If you are, yes, and if you're a parent of teenagers, by the way, I'm doing a lot more like parenting casting, thanks to the cast that Dan did, where it's like, what topics do people want to hear about?
Yeah.
So I fucked up my kids, so now I can fuck up yours too.
Your kids are lovely.
All I want to say is the lesson in there is, if you have teenagers, don't ever tell them not to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True story. By the way,
unless you tell them not to take out the trash.
Same for me. By the way.
And everybody on Farcaster, everybody
pretty much everybody in crypto
are like stunted
you
teenagers.
Tell us not to do something, we're gonna freaking touch the stove. Like, is it really hot? Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, let me just double check. I don't.
My puppy is my kid, because I'm like, kids I'm terrified of in the
you got time.
Future.
Yeah, you're young. You got time. There's no rush. And they are scary, and you should be scared. Anyway, healthy fear. You're gonna hit them with some lightning round. Before you do that, really quick, just so I don't forget. If you want to join the First Draft Club, there is a hyper sub, and you can find it pinned. I think it's pinned in the First Draft Club channel. I think it's somewhere in there.
It's pinned to that account, but you can also go to firstdraft.club.
Firstdraft.club. Okay, great.
Firstdraft.club. Yeah, it's like a kind of crappy Notion page, but it has links to stuff. So that's a good place to go. It's a short URL.
Great. Okay. And I'll drop that in here for everybody and to you, Adrienne.
All right.
For the fun stuff.
Mark, on Farcaster, we talk a lot about the URL to IRL pipeline, and obviously making internet friends. I'm curious to hear, when or how did you make your first internet friend?
Oh, I should have been prepared for this one.
We ask it every time.
I know.
And I hate when people do not prepare. Like, at some point, the questions will get leaked because we've only asked them to our 45 guests we've had, but I don't like when people are prepared.
Okay, can I ask? I know it's supposed to be lightning, but is this the first person I became friends with online, or first person that I met online first and then met in person and became like an in-person friend?
I don't know what the first thing you said was, but the latter. Like, it's someone you met through the internet. Like, it was a digital first, internet first friend, and then later became friends IRL.
Okay. That probably rules out. I feel like I had a lot of internet friends in high school that I never met. And then...
Where were you meeting them? I'm just curious. Like, just gaming?
No, like Twitter and stuff.
Okay.
I guess I only joined Twitter at the end of high school.
I think a lot of people have actually answered it that way, where like it was an internet friend. They may actually never have met in real life.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now I'm realizing I haven't been strict about the rules of this question. So just answer it however you want.
Yeah, honestly, I have such a bad memory that I don't know if I'll be able to call out a single person, but it was probably someone from Twitter.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
You could just say me if you can't think of anyone.
Yeah. Or actually, to be
Adrienne.
to do a definite case, I was one of those nerds that was active in my college incoming freshman class Facebook group.
Okay.
So over the summer, I was like, oh, who wants to do a fantasy football league? And so I ended up recruiting 10 or so people. And then we would watch the games together on Sundays, on campus. And so we didn't all stay friends. Some of them are still friends, but that definitely counts as
That's similar to Dan's answer.
I was similar to Dan. You're in good company. So the the nerd who founded Farcaster also had their first friend through their Facebook pre-college Facebook group.
It was a college,
that's a definite
college
case for sure.
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite channel on Farcaster?
Outside of the First Draft channel, of course. Wow, I'm gonna peek because just like look at my side.
Just look at your side run of where you usually are. Yeah.
I'm gonna do. I'm pretty obsessed with the Someone Builds channel.
Ooh, yeah.
I tried an experiment with that earlier this year where I'm like, can we take ideas and fund them and have other people build them and build like I was calling it like a sufficiently decentralized incubator. And it didn't really work, but I still think there's so much like potential when people are posting things like, can you build with actually the reply I had to that cast of like, I'm going to build a V2 frame for Shackle. But I think there's something you can do with the Someone Build channel where it's like, can we put these on Bountycaster? And Linda has been helpful with some ideas for that. But there's so much good, so many talented, developers and so many good ideas that like, I think there's something waiting to happen there.
There's definitely a good synergy for Bountycaster and Someone Build channel for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a good synergy. All right, what else you got, Adrian?
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl for sure. Although I'm like trying to rein that in. I definitely this was somewhat early for me to like be awake.
Helping to rein you in.
Yeah. It's good. We would normally need coffee this hour.
You're allowed to bring coffee.
Yeah, we didn't. That's allowed.
Yeah, no, I just like didn't. I didn't
have time
because
he
like I
just woke up. You didn't have time to make coffee.
I have never sat here without coffee because Prof tricked me a year and a half ago.
I drink tea and water, so that's it. But I usually have my mug here. Mm-hmm.
Beach or mountain?
Mountain, but not on the mountain. Just like looking at the mountains. On a beach, looking at mountains.
So you're somewhere in like Costa Rica or something. Okay.
Yeah, like Iceland,
or Hawaii, something like that.
What is the next country you'd like to visit? He's thinking.
Frozen or thinking?
He's frozen.
No, he's frozen.
He's definitely frozen. I was like, this was not meant to stump. This was not meant to stump you.
I was like, is he thinking? But I heard him. I could hear him. We can still hear you, Mark. But you're just stuck. You're frozen. That was funny.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, we could hear you. Yep, there you are. Okay, now you're moving.
Hello?
Yep, we can hear you. Can you hear us? All right.
I think that I ended up. Yeah, it was funny because I saw you freeze, and then I was like, "Are you guys frozen?" And then I froze, and then I saw you talking, and I was frozen. I'm like, "That was maybe 5 seconds ago."
That's so funny.
I think I think like Colombia. I want to go somewhere in like Latin or South America, especially in like right now, just in the winter. I get so romantic for sunshine.
I was there last week. Direct flight, NYC, JetBlue. Very easy to get to. It is very hot there. You would love it.
To where?
And
to Colombia.
Cartagena.
Last week?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where she went on a yoga retreat, and that's where it was.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fantastic. That's what I want to do.
There you go.
You've had me a week ago, and then I would have said that. You said that's where I'm going next week, and then I would have bought a ticket and joined.
Concert or sporting event?
Probably sporting event, unless it's a small concert, like a small intimate concert. Yes, live music, but big arena concerts now.
Big fan of small venues. If you were to write a book, what would it be about?
Ooh.
I think it'd be about myself, like not in like the egocentric way, but in the very like reason why I started like First Draft Club. It's like I think writing is a great way for processing and reflecting, and so maybe it'd be a memoir with like different chapters about different things, but I think it would probably come from my own experiences first.
Nice.
Amazing.
Do you know what Bot or Not says about you?
No, I haven't checked.
Do you want to know?
Yes, please.
Prolific caster.
Ooh,
Casts
prolific.
about writing, community, NYC, and tools.
Nice.
Okay.
Prolific. I don't think I've heard prolific caster before as a description. That's pretty cool.
When did you check it? Because I feel like the last couple of days have been several casts a day.
About 25 seconds ago.
Yeah. I would say it's been prolific over the past like week, maybe.
Yeah.
And it does say the label streak is 1 day. So
so you've been prolific this week. So congratulations. That's amazing.
Camping or hotel?
Probably hotel.
Optimist or pessimist?
Optimist.
Kiwi skin on or off?
I usually scoop it out. Yeah, off.
Like a civilized society.
Yeah.
We live in a society.
And the last question, what is the last thing you bought with crypto?
Probably like subscribing to someone's hyper sub. Although I have been enjoying paying for like real, I casted once, like I took crypto and put it in my Blackbird wallet and like use it to pay at restaurants. So I'm using crypto to get food, which is cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I feel like New York has a lot more opportunities for that kind of stuff, more so than most places where you can have those more IRL opportunity to use crypto kind of stuff. So
I love Blackbird. I don't live in the city anymore, as if I have recently. I say that, but I don't live in the city. I live outside the city. I'm so tempted to just use that as an excuse to come in more often, like because I want to use it.
There's a group that does, you know, there was a dumpling crawl. There was, I'm trying to remember what the other crawl was before that. And they're not all Blackbird restaurants, but someone from Blackbird is usually part of the crew. Yeah, it's fun. There's a good, like, the Food NYC channel actually is another channel I would shout out. Just like there's good food and
amazing.
There's always meetups and kind of happenings around that.
Amazing. All right. Anything else, Adrian? This has been awesome.
Anything else, Mark?
Anything else, Mark?
Anything else you want to shout out?
I didn't know if you had any other questions. So you're starting the next, it's the next month of we're starting February. So fresh month. So great time for people to jump in. And then you've got the higher rewards are going to be this month. So for those who are in the higher community, great time to jump in as well. Anything else?
First deadline is Sunday. I was going back and forth with like ChatGPT the other day. I was like, help me figure out like, you know, how do I align weeks with months? Because they're not always, you know, Sunday is not always the same time every month. And what we decided was if the Sunday date ends on, you know, February or March or whatever the month is, like it's part of that month's prize pool. So a little difficult. The first deadline is, was it the 2nd of February? So if you want to be involved in that prize pool, that would be, you want to join now, but you can join whenever you want. So it's a rolling kind of program.
Amazing.
The first deadline is the Sunday.
I might have to just buckle down and do it and get back into it because I've been slacking.
And donate money to the prize pool.
Yeah, pretty much what's going to happen.
I'm sorry. I don't actually. I'm not saying I don't believe in you. I just had to make the joke.
She knows. No, she knows. It's quite possible.
Yeah, but it's good to know. It's a very lightweight thing if you want it to be. Like you can do all the writing from your phone if you want. You know, write it in Apple Notes. Write just a long cast.
That's actually what I've done in the past. Is like even dictate when I have an idea. I'll dictate it into my notes app, and then I would pull it over and like edit. Flush it out. But it's sometimes the easiest thing to do is just to like get it out of your head if you have an idea and that you just need to get out really quick. Before you forget it.
100%.
So. Awesome.
And I'm just going to shout out, like, I've never met someone who started writing and regrets it.
True.
It's like, if you hear of anyone, I like, and I've casted about this a lot, but I kind of started a Substack and tried to develop a writing habit. Easily been one of like the highest ROI things I've done, like from an effort. It's just so rewarding and there's so much value in it. It's really hard. Like writing
it's not easy, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's worth it. And I think if you're out there and you're thinking like, I'm not a writer, or like, it's not something for me, or I'm too busy. Like a lot of times what I found is like the weeks that I write, productivity elsewhere actually increases too. Like there's something about like, it's not, it's like, it has more to do with kind of the frame of mind you're in than how much time you have.
Probably adds to your discipline. Yeah. It probably increases your
like exercise
discipline.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're exercising.
Damn you with that. I know. So you should do it. And I love the like the way you talk about first draft, and even the name of it, which is like it's just about kind of the process and doing it. So like anyway, get out there.
Nobody's judging you. Like the nice thing about writing online is like if it resonates with people, then you will meet new people, they will reply to it and they engage with it. If people don't like it, they probably won't see it. They probably won't engage with it. Like it's almost always nobody on Farcaster is really at the level, I don't think, of like really being canceled, if that's even, really a thing anymore. Like you should write things and then, people will engage with it and respond to it. But there's very limited downside for sharing your work publicly, I think.
I love it. All right. This has been amazing. By the way, for those of you who haven't read Adrian's Substack yet, you really should. It's always great. And it's always in our show notes. So there's always a link in there. I usually try to update it to the latest, but if not, it'll just bring you to her Substack and you can find the latest from there. So go check that out and go check out First Draft. If you're looking for some good writing too, just to read, go check out the First Draft channel.
Check out the channel.
Yeah, just go give a read. People need their writing to be read. So there you go. And with that, we're going to call it. And happy Friday, everyone. This has been a blast. Monday, we'll be back regular time, regular show, just me and Adrian. But then Wednesday, we'll have Luca Netz with us. Thursday, we'll have Dan Romero with us. The Hub on Tuesday. It's going to be a really busy week. We're going to have a lot more information about our ETH Denver event. We'll be opening up that RSVP next week. So lots of cool things happening. And again, if you happen to have a Lil Noun, go check out lilnouns.wtf and check out my prop.
If you don't have a Lil Noun, if you do not have a Lil Noun, go to Farcaster, read the proposal, because it will tell you all the things we've been up to and what we're trying to build. And it's still, I actually enjoyed reading the proposal because I learned some things about what we're up to. I thought it was great.
It's like, oh, we are? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the stuff we're going to do. It was great.
There's a lot of alpha in there, for real. There was some serious alpha in there about GM Farcaster. So
and we'd appreciate recasts and even if you don't have, because it'll help kind of get the word out, because
absolutely.
Easy way to support us, and we appreciate it.
And part of this prop is that we'll hopefully have some Lil Nouns to do some giveaways to our chatters too. So it'll be fun. All right, everyone. And with that, happy Friday. And we're going to end it here. Thank you, Mark, so much for joining us. This has been a great chat.
Yeah.
You're inspiring me. I need to get back to writing. So I'm going to do it.
You guys inspire me. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. With that, everybody, we'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday, and bye-bye.